Welcome back, everybody. It's The Drive here on HAN Network, live every Tuesday here in Shelton. The Drive is about living mindfully and consciously. Each week we seek to bring together people, places, ideas, and organizations that will help you do just that. Our goal here is to maybe move you forward, help you shift your ideas, your opinions, and accomplish new goals. We always start the drive off with a mindful minute. And I want to share a story with you this week at Open House at Avis High School. The science teacher just blew me away. Ms. Wack had spent her summer down at Nassau working with the University of Montana in a grant program. And when we were there as parents, she said, I want your children to have a scientific method, knowing how to use a scientific mind to make educated and informed decisions, especially about voting. And I thought, wow, scientific decisions about voting. Now that is a passionate person and an empowered lady to take her summer and spend it down at Nassau. Good for her. So one thing I want to share with you today is another client of mine said, you know, there's a whole lot of stuff going on the internet, Denise. You've got to be, of course, careful what you believe and what you read. And she recommended this site, you may or may not know about it, called Fact Check. Fact Check. That's where if you want to make a good informed decision beyond scientific, go there and check your facts and use your voice to vote. You know, this show is not about politics, it's never about religion, and we do not get paid for the people that we interview or talk about. However, I think it's important to get out there and vote and not use the excuse that because the election may be swayed one way or another or you don't have the right candidate. It's imperative you use your voice to vote and do it from an informed point of view. So that leads me to my next introduction. We have an incredible resource and an incredible person on site with us today who's done so much. I don't know how we're going to pack this hour, but we are. I'd like to introduce to you Juanita James. Thank you.
Denise, it is a
wow,
pleasure
I'm
to
so
be
glad
here.
to have you here.
Thank you.
The CEO of Fairfield
County
Community Foundation. That's
right.
a whole big long
It's
list.
a big long name.
But no longer than your list of accomplishments.
Well, thank you.
Former Chief Marketing Officer for Pitney Bowes.
Yes.
Corporate experience at Time Warner.
Yes.
But let's tell the true story.
Okay.
When I did my research on you, of course, coming from your fabulous PR firm, Helen Colvin, let's give her a nice plug because we love her. I did some research only to find out you were the second graduating female class at Princeton.
That's correct.
And then I went on to look into your background to find that you had such an incredible perseverance that when I started the promotion for today's show, I said you were an agent of change and for change. So you had to persevere through a lot of things.
That's true.
And I'm hoping that you'll share that with my audience right now, how you got started.
Okay.
And how you moved yourself forward.
Okay.
Tell us.
So I will tell you, I come by it honestly. My mother, who was born in British Guyana, left when she was 3 months pregnant to come to the United States.
Wow.
Because she wanted her child to be born in the country where class wasn't the ruling factor.
Isn't that incredible?
So she took a huge risk. And what was an even bigger risk is my father never left Guyana because he decided he liked the comfort of living where he was, but my mother wanted a better opportunity for her child.
For the child she didn't even know yet.
That's right.
Isn't that incredible?
So if you think about someone who's a huge risk taker, I come by that quite honestly. And growing up, it was the two of us, and her mantra to me was that she said, look, my job is to work so that I can support you. Your job is to study and get all A's so that when I retire, you can support me. My mother actually didn't even finish 8th grade because her father died when she was 13 years old, and she ended up, because she could sew, quitting school and sewing and being the economic driver to support her 9 brothers and sisters.
Wow.
And as I grew older, she ended up sponsoring a number of her family to come to the U.S. to escape, you know, from the poverty and of the country that she was born in.
Incredible.
So I'm a first-generation American who has lived the American dream, the immigrant American dream, in that I came, I studied, I always did well in school, And if I didn't, she let me know. If I came home with a 99, she'd look at the report card and say, where's the other point? You know, why am I working? You would have gotten that other point if you would just study a little harder. Yeah. So
I'm going to make sure Ava watches this tape again.
So it was one of those things where I was very motivated to be successful. And the two of us really did everything together. Mm-hmm. And even though she wasn't formally educated, she was a lover of books, reading, the arts, culture, and she exposed me to so many things that many young people don't get a chance to be exposed to, particularly if they're not coming from, you know, a wealthy environment. So that's really how I started. All girls Catholic school, and I did get a full scholarship to Princeton. And it was at a time when my guidance counselor said to me, why don't you apply to City College? And I looked at her and I said, I've got the highest grades in the school. I've got one of the highest SAT scores in the school. Why aren't you asking some of my other colleagues to apply to City College? Because I was one of the few minorities, right? So I knew where that was coming from.
So you feel she said that because you were a minority?
Because she did not feel that, and at that time, Ivy League schools were really not admitting a lot of African American students. So I was not only in the first wave of women, I was in the first wave of a concerted effort to start diversifying the student population.
You were a doorbuster.
And it was not what I considered to be exactly a welcoming environment at the time.
Was it hard?
It was difficult because even though the trustees and the president of the university were committed to co-education and committed to bringing in minority students, we literally would see letters from alumni and articles in the school newspaper every day asking why the university had downgraded its standards by allowing women to come in and allowing, you know, unqualified, because the assumption was that if you were black, you didn't have the qualifications. And no attention being paid at that time to the fact that my grades, my scores were just as good as any of my classmates.
Or better, frankly.
Right.
Yeah, better.
So it was a difficult time, but at the same time, I think it was a time that prepared me for life. Because what I learned through that experience was that I could hold my own with anyone. And whether others came from private schools, very wealthy backgrounds, or wherever they came from, I could academically hold my own with them.
You hold your own.
And that was a very important lesson in life for me, because when I graduated from school, I found myself often in work situations or other situations where I might be the only, you know, African-American woman in the room.
Challenging.
Challenging. But
maybe even still to this day at some times.
Well, yes, because I'm working in a field where we have a very broad spectrum of people and experiences and exposures.
Right.
And what I have found in life is when you get to know human beings as each other, as human beings.
Just as human beings.
Just as human beings, you can find that you have a lot more in common than not.
Of course.
Because if you make assumptions that I have nothing in common with you, either because of wealth, economic status, you know, where you grew up, where I grew up.
The zip code.
If you approach it that way, you will find, my mother always taught me, you find what you look for in people.
It's
and
true.
You bring out what you find in people. So you can choose to either bring out the best and look for the best, or you can choose the other way.
In my household, we say look for the light.
Yes.
Look for the light.
Absolutely.
Don't look for the dark.
Absolutely.
Right.
And if you look for the light, you find it.
You find it.
And that's really been one of, you know, sort of the fundamental lessons. And as I said, she wasn't someone that had a formal education, but she was a very wise woman.
Sounds like my grandmother. I get many of my mantras from her. She had the similar situation that she left education in 5th grade to see her mother to the other side.
Yeah.
So I'm a kindred spirit with you for sure.
Well, I told you I felt that I was a kindred spirit with you just from, you know, your show and learning what I've learned about you. So I absolutely believe that.
Oh, thank you. It's so kind. Now, we're finishing Princeton.
Right.
And we're trailblazing, so to speak.
Yes,
I mean, you're young, so I think when you're young, you're probably have a little bit of a confidence issue just by virtue you have no experience, right?
That's very true.
Now, what's your first job?
My very first job was working for a French electronics firm because I majored in French at Princeton. And I went to work for a French electronics firm because I could speak the language.
Right.
I literally graduated thinking I wanted to teach with a certificate in 3rd grade French, teaching French. Got to New York City, decided I didn't want to teach, and landed a job literally the next week working for this French electronics firm. And there I discovered the world of business, and I just took to it. I loved what I was doing. I was actually doing forecasting, and something that I had never done before, using my financial skills, because I actually started out as a math major and then switched to French.
Math is good.
I love math, and I still love math. What I discovered in the world of business, again, I was forging some new ground. People had some preconceived notions, but I was in a department where people were very receptive to new ideas and new ways of doing things. And I had actually come up with an idea to think about redesigning the way we were doing small orders, because it was a very complicated process. And they said, you know what, try it. And I think they were humoring me. And it turned out to be so successful that in the end they had me sort of managing that whole area. And that's when I discovered not only my love for business, but my curiosity for trying to do things differently, of always looking for a better way to do something. And that what I also learned is if you approach people the right way, they might let you experiment.
So 2 things I want to ask you then.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like resourcefulness, a sense of curiosity, and of course perseverance were in your toolkit.
Yes.
For my viewers that say, oh, I can't do that, she did it, but I can't. How do you approach people the right way? What would be a tip you'd tell someone, even from way back then as a young person?
What I have found to be effective in terms of working with people is asking them what they need, finding out what interests them. So if I take an interest in you, that opens the door for me to have a conversation. What is not an effective approach is me coming to you with, I already know, or I should. I don't tell people you should.
Yeah, should. We say on the show, never should on yourself.
Never.
I
like that.
And I always get in
never
trouble
should
afterwards.
on yourself. But if you ask someone, do you think this might be a good idea? It's a very different way of framing the question, right?
Right.
It's
just a small, simple language twist, isn't it?
But so much about communication is language, right?
And mindfulness.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the things I learned over time is that it's important to be confident, but it's also important not to be arrogant or too sure of yourself. So one of the lessons I've learned in life is it's so important to be able to step back and laugh at yourself. So the way I view it, I take what I do seriously, but I don't take myself too seriously.
Yeah,
and with that, you allow yourself to make mistakes, to learn from the mistakes, to get up and try again. And sometimes if you keep going at it often enough, you get it right eventually.
That's an incredible piece of motivation, and I hope that while we're taking a break, everyone's going to sort of meditate on that, because if you make yourself approachable,
Right.
then I think more comes to you. It's not only being in collaboration and in communion with someone else and taking an interest, but it's making yourself approachable and maybe using that humor.
Well, humor is a very important part of life, because we will all have our ups and downs. We will all have our setbacks. And it's really, adversity is really how you deal with it, how you learn from your mistakes, as opposed to having them define you.
Exactly.
So.
And I saw a quote the other day on the internet that said, a mistake once is a mistake, the same mistake twice is a decision. I thought, wow.
That's a very good quote.
That's a good quote.
That's a very good quote.
Okay, we're going to come back in 2 minutes and we're going to talk about what happened after that, what led you to the foundation, and I want to hear all about what you're doing at the foundation, because I don't think a lot of people know how powerful the foundation can be. All right, we'll be right back. It's live here on the HN Network every Tuesday with Denise. We'll be back in a minute.
Want a new experience in car buying? Scap Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, scapchryslerjeep.com or scapdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now during the Jeep Celebration event and Ram Power Days. Now through September 30th.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. New Canaan is 6 minutes down the road. New Canaan's a beautiful little town to walk around. I work in Westport. My commute is 20 minutes. It's close to Westchester, where my family is, so the location is ideal. There is no other townhome that compares in the area. this is where I want to be.
Have a sports injury or a slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Biking, golf, tennis, soccer, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
At Mex on Main, Trumbull's very own Mexican grill, we're all about fresh, fast, and friendly service. Our Main Street restaurant offers the best in traditional and non-traditional Mexican dishes, with only the best ingredients, never frozen. From authentic burritos, fajitas, quesadillas, and salads, we have something on the menu for everyone in the family. And enjoy our open salsa bar, giving you more ways to customize your meal. Stop in for lunch or dinner at 6528 Main Street, Trumbull, or find out more at mexonmain.com.
You're watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. More than 1.5 million viewers have watched our live sports, news, and entertainment broadcasting since the network launched in August 2015. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
You know where you can get your daily dose of motivation? Here every Tuesday on The Drive with Denise DiGrigoli. We bring together people, places, ideas, and organizations that seek to move you forward mindfully and consciously. And today we're talking with the CEO of Fairfield County's Community Foundation, Juanita James. Welcome back.
Thank you.
And for those of you that missed the first few minutes, we are talking about an incredible journey, starting off with the second graduating class of females out of Princeton, your resourcefulness, and what's sort of you've just taken chances and maybe been in the right spot at the right time, but it's a little gift of perseverance, right?
Yes.
And being in service to others.
And it started with my career. I changed careers and went to work for Time Inc. Time Incorporated. I was in the books group, fell in love with publishing, the world of ideas, the creativity. But one of the things that was also good about Time Inc., it was one of those corporations that had a passion for community and giving back.
Isn't that great?
So I first started getting involved at a very young age, working with nonprofits, volunteering as an employee of Time Inc. because they believed in supporting that.
Right.
So that was when my passion for the nonprofit sector started kicking in.
Yeah.
And so with my career, with my professional career, and I had some phenomenal assignments when I was at Time Inc. I started out at Time Life Books as a researcher. I ended up running the book clubs for Book of the Month Club, all of the specialty book clubs.
Wow, that I missed in my research. Good.
And I loved it. And with that corporate career, as I progressed, professionally, I also got more and more involved in different aspects of nonprofit. From a volunteer to reading with kids to serving on nonprofit boards. So I feel like I had a parallel nonprofit career at the same time as my professional career.
And you were raising a family at the same time?
And I was raising a family at the same time. I met my husband. We have a son who is now 27 years old. But my husband is as involved in the nonprofit volunteer sector as I am. So between the two of us, we share that in common, that sense of giving back to community.
So now, how did you get to the Fairfield County Community Foundation? Like, what got you there? It's a very powerful organization.
It's a powerful organization.
But I don't know if a lot of people know about it,
well,
as much as we want to know about it.
The thing that's fabulous about the Community Foundation is it is so place-based and it is really grounded. It's part of a whole network of community foundations, which there are about 800 of them nationwide. We have 17 in the state of Connecticut alone. And what community foundations do, they connect people who have wealth and philanthropic interests with the greatest needs in their local community. That's what we do.
So how did you get there?
I got there because so many of the nonprofits that I volunteered for when I had left Time Inc., I was a chief marketing officer at Pitney Bowes. Many of my nonprofits were grantees of the Fairfield County Community Foundation.
Got it.
So I went to an event that they hosted to talk about all of the programs they were doing and got hooked, because at that point, I will say throughout my professional career, about every 5 years I would think, should I change and go run a nonprofit? So it was always in the back of my mind. And
It was calling you.
It was calling me. And at the point at which I decided I had really had a very successful run in the corporate sector, I was ready for something different. And I knew it would either be in education or academia, because I was very involved. I was also a trustee at Princeton University. I came back as a trustee after being there as a student. I knew it would be something. And I went to an open house at the foundation, and I heard about the breadth of programs that they were doing, empowering women and girls, working with the educational systems, helping to train teacher leaders, working with housing, affordable housing, and all of the areas, the arts. I had volunteered for so many different arts boards, like the Stamford Symphony and Curtain Call and our local theater group.
fabulous
They
groups.
supported all of those organizations. So the foundation was connected to the things I cared so much about,
It was like home.
and it was home.
So I have a question, because it seems like you're a very powerful person with a lot of interest and a lot of drive, and I so appreciate that. But even those of us with all of that power and oomph have trials and tribulations. What might be a greatest challenge that you got through as you were moving into this transition, that you even thought, this is going to be one of those ones that might take me out?
Well, I've had several major crises in my life, and they all had to do with health-related crises. My son was born 4 months prematurely, and I took a year off. I walked away from a job as president and CEO of a division of Time Inc.
Wow.
because I needed to stay home with him and take care of him.
I just got goosebumps.
And I had the confidence that when it was time for me to go back to work, even if I wouldn't go back in where I started, I'd be able to get back into the workplace. And I did. So taking risk and having the confidence that do the right thing for your family and for who you are at that time, and somehow
Have faith.
you have to have that faith, because when the right time comes, another opportunity will present itself.
I was just talking about that this
I'm one
morning.
of those people who believes that when a door closes, a window opens.
Thank you. I think everybody, we could say
And
that about
some-
5 more times.
And sometimes it's staring you right in the face and you're afraid to walk through it. But somehow, I've always listened to that voice to walk through that door. It was time for me to leave the for-profit sector. I had done what I thought I could do. I had broken through so many glass ceilings. But I felt something else calling me and wanting to have a different purpose in terms of the end result of my work.
And don't you think, because you were so authentic your whole life in trailblazing and just busting through the glass ceilings, if you will, that when it was time to listen to that intuitive voice, you could actually hear it?
Yes.
Because you had been spending time with yourself, doing what was right for you and your family, as you say.
There was a book that I read. If you want to walk on water, you have to get out of the boat. And it was all about, because I'm a deacon at my church.
I read that.
And I led the book group discussion. And it spoke to me about, if you have something calling you and what are the things you really want to do in life, you've got to take that risk. So that's really what also gave me the courage to leave the very comfortable and, for-profit world where I had been successful and make that jump into the nonprofit sector. And some people said, a lot of people don't do that very well because it's tougher. But what I realized about it, it was like being an entrepreneur. It was like starting out all over again.
Oh boy, yeah.
Roll up your sleeves, do whatever you have to do. You don't have the same infrastructure and resources as you do in the corporate sector.
No.
But
There's
what
no
I
fat.
have, but what I have is a group of very talented, completely dedicated staff who care so much about the impact we're having on lives of people in Fairfield County, that we figure out how to problem solve, even if we have not the best technology, not the best, data systems.
Resourcefulness again.
Exactly. We figure out how to get it done, and we're always looking to take it up to the next level.
My grandmother would just say, just figure out how to get it done.
That's
we
right.
have to get it done.
But the trick is, and the key to everything is, you don't do it by yourself.
Yeah.
You do it with other people.
In collaboration.
I did not get to where I am without the support of friends and mentors and people giving me an opportunity. A scholarship got me into Princeton. I wouldn't have been able to afford to go to Princeton. Being able to be in an organization, we have actually provided over $8 million in scholarships to students over the last 15 years.
Wow.
Through the various funds that our donors provide for us. We contribute about $800,000 a year in scholarship funds. We grant somewhere between $12 and $14 million a year to nonprofits throughout Fairfield County.
So how do you find your donors? Like, what makes them buy into this?
Most of the donors who have come to us come through a referral because someone else has heard about us, they like the work they do, they care about it. The key is they have to care about the community. They want to give something back to their community. And they come through a network. They're referred to us by professional advisors, by other people who have some kind of interest and are looking to do something with their wealth that also gives back to the community.
Do you find that some of them get involved beyond their wealth?
Absolutely.
Are they donating time,
They're
treasure?
They're donating time, and they donate time through the nonprofits because we're not the direct service provider, but what we do is we train and enable nonprofits to be much better at what they do. We work with
Which is a huge service because sometimes the nonprofits are so unorganized that that's when they get the bad PR, of course.
We run year-round leadership development, training. We work with over 400 nonprofits on an annual basis in terms of our Center for Nonprofit Excellence to help them be stronger at what they do.
So with your success stories, tell me some of the success stories you guys are affecting there at the community, whether it's on the personal note with the individual people or the people that the organizations you grant money to.
Well, we are very proud. So many of our nonprofit organizations, whether it's Neighbors Link or Sound Waters or organizations in Bridgeport, will shout our praises in terms of what they've learned and how they've been able to build their organizations and grow their effectiveness because of the work they've done through us. We have this phenomenal family economic security program where we have identified primarily single heads of households and helped move them on a path to success by offering them all of the support they need to complete their degrees.
I saw some of that. That was incredible.
It is absolutely. We worked with 100 students at Norwalk Community College. We are now at Housatonic Community College. We've got our first 80 students in, and the intention is to get 400 people through this program.
So let's talk about that a bit. So we're pairing these students with finances.
We give them financial
even
coaching.
Car lifts when their car breaks down.
Child care services if they need it, emergency scholarships if they need that, but it's really the academic counseling, the career coaching, because so many people, particularly if you're a first-generation college student, you can go in, take all the wrong courses, you don't know how to navigate your way through the system. We believe that if you have the right support and you have the motivation, if we give you the support and the motivation and the guidance, you can make it through to the end. And these are people who have the motivation and they want to persist and succeed, and we know we're helping them do that.
I mean, I want to come over there and volunteer now when I hear this story. It's so fabulous.
Come and be a mentor to these young women because that's what they need to see, successful people like you.
You'll have to put this out to them and see if they want to. I could chat up a storm with them all. Certainly. Okay, this is incredible. We're going to come back in just 2 minutes, everyone, and we're going to finish up talking to Juanita about her life, what she's doing with the foundation, where it's going, how you can be a part of the solution, and at the very least, how you can move yourself forward and empower others in your community. By empowering others, you move yourself forward. It's live here on the HN Network, The Drive with Denise DiGrigoli, every Tuesday. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, you've got something valid to contribute, please tweet us at Han Network CT or tweet me at Denise DiGrigoli. Thanks so much. We'll be back in a minute.
I'm a filthy rich executive. I hear the market's down 1 million points. I freak out. I spill my large espresso. The searing pain makes me slam on the brakes. Uh-oh, your fault. And your cut rate insurance may not cover my $90,000 car, so I sue you, because that's what I do. So get Allstate. You can save money and be better protected from mayhem, like me.
Visit your local Allstate agent, Nick Montanero, at 6528 Main Street in Trumbull for a personalized quote.
As you're getting back to your regular schedules, we're excited to get back to doing what we do best.
offering you the freshest seasonal fare and all the ingredients for a healthy start to school. So shop Walter Stewart's for everything fresh, from A, apples to Z, zucchini, and from cotton candy grapes to back to nature all-natural snack bags. We save you time by stocking all of your favorite back-to-school essentials under one roof. Walter Stewart's Market, 229 Elm Street, or shop online at stewartsmarket.com.
Washington Prime, now open on Main Street in Georgetown. Come enjoy our relaxed setting, excellent service, award-winning nightly happy hours, and feast on our creative new American cuisine. Connecticut Magazine's winner for Best Steak, Washington Prime of Georgetown.
The leaves are changing, water temps dropping, and the sun is setting a little earlier each day. But there's still a lot of great boating, fishing, and coast time left before we see the first snow. And above all, remember, it's always summer at the Dock Shop. With loads of new fishing tackle and accessories, clothing, jewelry, and home decor, the Dock Shop is just what you need when you start to feel that New England autumn chill. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, dockshop.com.
At Elements Massage Ridgefield, we believe in quality services that are affordable and focused on therapy and healing. The licensed massage therapists are available 7 days a week, offering deep tissue and Swedish massage, as well as prenatal and couples massage. Special introductory rates are available now, or try our Elements trademarked wellness program. For more information, contact Elements Massage Ridgefield at 203-403-3348 or visit elementsmassage.com/Ridgefield.
Give your day a jumpstart with the latest news, sports, weather, and more on Coffee Break, live on the HAN Network, weekdays at 11 a.m. Connecticut news doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break.
So we're back here on The Drive, and I'm so thankful that you allow us to spend this hour together. I hope that you'll share these on-demand scenes with your friends, because it's about moving forward. My grandmother used to say, you can't be a success unless you make someone else a success. What better person than Juanita James telling us the story of her incredible life of perseverance, an agent for change, who's experienced so much, and now running the Fairfield County Community Foundation. I have to talk a little slower, maybe. Slow it down. I got a lot to say in the last 15 minutes.
Okay.
Anyways, the foundation is doing incredible work.
Okay.
You've brought together 5 or 6 towns. You've got people that are coming on board.
Yeah.
And we're servicing crisis issues in our community. What are our crisis issues here in Fairfield County?
First of all, one of the things we're proudest of, 23 towns and cities in Fairfield County, we are grant making in 21 of the 23. We reach out to all 23.
Is that incredible?
We really want to bring the county together because it's so different in terms of urban, suburban, rural, wealthy, poor. But at the end of the day, we have to lift up those who need it most, and it lifts up the entire community.
Of course.
Because our whole philosophy is we want the opportunity for everyone to thrive. And I think one of the...
And that's everyone. And
everyone.
I want to underscore
everyone. Everyone. And it's not take from one to give to another. Right. It's lift everyone up so each person has the opportunity to thrive and realize their own potential.
And then give back.
And to give back. So one of our newest initiatives, we've looked at what's happening with young people in Fairfield County. Between the ages of 16 to 24, we have about 100,000 young people in Fairfield County. We also have about 11,000 of them that we call opportunity youth, totally disconnected. They're not working, they're not in school, they're basically on a trajectory for failure, not a trajectory for success. And we know.
So 11,000 out of the 100,000, that's like, 10%,
exactly,
11%.
11%, exactly.
Oofa.
We know that we can do better than that. So we're taking the lessons we've learned from the Family Economic Security Program, which is directed toward empowering women and girls, and we are looking at what can we do to help young people empower themselves so that they can be self-sufficient and independent by the age of 25.
And what's the number one thing we can do you think?
Provide them both with the voice to express their own dreams and ambitions, and provide them with the access to job training, education, skills, so that they can go into jobs with a living wage and a career path.
A living wage,
A
I like
living
that.
wage
A
and
living wage.
And a career path.
Right.
You know, we need to provide our young people into entry-level jobs where they have the chance to continue to learn, to improve their credentials, and to be successful and be able to support themselves and their families and to live independently. That's what we're working on. And we're working, as again, in partnership. Community colleges, businesses, because employers need qualified workers.
We do. My gosh, it's challenging to find people to
It
work.
is challenging to find people to work. So
Absolutely.
what we want to do is connect these young people with summer employment opportunities, internship opportunities, but give them the skills so they can come on the job, be ready to make a contribution.
I hope some of my clients are watching, because I think we might need to go to Juanita to fill some spots.
And
wow.
And we are very excited because I think it's a win-win. It's a win for the employers, it's a win for our youth, it's a win for the economy, for the state of Connecticut, and it only works if we really work together. The public sector, the nonprofit sector, the private sector, the education group. That's how we win. And that's what we've learned at the Community Foundation, is that we have this enormous ability to cross sectors and to relate to people's needs where they are.
Does the community give you any pushback when you're trying to come in with an initiative? Do you get pushback?
Well, one of the things we don't do is come into the community with an initiative.
You're resourcing the...
We are really all about resident voice, resident engagement, youth voice, youth empowerment. So I'm not telling the young people what they need. I'm asking them what they need. And they're telling us what they need. We had a youth summit in January that was designed by and for 16 to 24-year-olds. They had 200 people show up. They decided what the program was. They decided who they wanted to come, what they wanted to hear. 200 on a Saturday morning at 10 o'clock.
Wow.
So this is really what it's all about.
It's working.
Empowering people, empowering youth, empowering girls, empowering women to help set their own destiny, but then giving them the access, opening the doors, the training, the skills that they want,
And
so that they
becoming
can be successful.
Right, and becoming a role model to others.
That's right.
Just like the girls that were in the program that we experienced in
That's
Greenwich,
right. Yes, they
And
are.
Starting with the science teacher I referenced.
Exactly.
Building that passion and that momentum is so critical.
And what you find, you've said it, when you give to someone, you get so much more in return.
Yeah.
Particularly if you
So
respect
true.
people and meet people as individuals and human beings.
And take a genuine interest in their interests.
Yeah, and
they sense it.
The genuine part of it is so important, because if you're only going through the motions, that is not affirming. It's
And
not
people
real.
can tell.
That's right.
Right.
So
we kind of always close the segment with when we get a person like you that is so incredibly powerful and determined. What do you do to keep it balanced?
Oh,
is
well,
it yoga? Is it what is it? What is it that fuels that fire?
I sing in my church choir.
Okay.
I dance.
I wish I'd known. I would have asked you to sing a song here.
I dance ballroom dance with my husband.
Wow.
I go to the theater and the ballet and the symphony. I take in the beauty of arts and culture, and I participate, and I love to party. I am a people person. So getting together with friends, dancing, being with music, that's what I do for me.
So what I'm hearing is you actually take time for yourself and your interests.
My philosophy is work hard and play hard every day.
Every day.
So there is something that I do that gives me pleasure every day, and I put as much energy and focus into my private life as I do into my professional life. And that's been a real recipe for success.
And do you empower the people that work at the foundation, your staff, to do the same?
Absolutely.
Are you encouraging them? Because you get some people like me that'll just stay working nonstop.
I try to encourage them, but we all have our own personalities.
Right.
And some of it is they think I'm a workaholic because I work at all hours of the night.
Yeah.
But I work when I'm inspired. And I've told them, you work when you're inspired. You don't have to work on my time schedule. You have to work when you're inspired, right? So, but I do feel that my staff feels empowered. And they have such a passion and commitment to the work we do. and the camaraderie, it is palpable. I'd love to invite you to come.
Oh, I'm coming.
Yeah.
I'm coming.
I will invite you to come and see us. The camaraderie and the spirit in the place is tangible. It's a wonderful place to be.
So when creating culture, whether it be in your own home or in a company you lead,
Right.
what would you say to our viewers today as we come to a close? Creating culture that's palpable, that's energetic, that's consuming, that's inviting.
It's a very basic rule. I treat every individual the way I want to be treated. I give each person the respect and the dignity that I want to be treated. And if we do that to each other, that creates a culture of mutual support, respect, and dignity. Simple. It's very simple.
Just incredible. I do hope that you will join me again.
I would love to join you again.
And you will bring maybe some of your participants on, maybe some of your organizations, maybe around the holiday time to talk about what we're going to do in 2017 to move our communities forward.
I would be thrilled to do that.
I'm so happy that you joined us today.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Juanita.
Thank you
I hope I see you soon. And I'm coming by.
I feel like I want to give you a hug, not just a
I'm definitely going to give you a hug.
Oh, it's wonderful.
Thank you so much.
It's been great.
Okay, everybody. If this didn't move you forward, I'm not sure what will. It's Denise DiGrigoli live on the HAN Network every Tuesday. You can jump on HAN Network, go down to the on-demand menu, choose the drive, and share this to your friends. Join Juanita James. Can we tell the name of the website?
FCCfoundation.org.
FCCfoundation.org. Maybe you know an organization you'd like to contribute to. At the very least, check them out. Maybe consider being a mentor. Any questions, you can tweet me at Denise DiGrigoli or here at HAN Network CT. It's always my pleasure to join you every Tuesday. I look forward to seeing you next week with another exciting show. Thanks for joining us.